Hey guys, so today I want to talk to you about Murakami's Norwegian Wood. So this is Murakami's most famous novel by a long shot. He released this, it's probably his most normal book really. It doesn't really contain any surrealism or anything out of the ordinary. It's a story about love and lost, what people have lost, and it blew up in Japan and then around the world soon after when it got its English release, and Murakami didn't really deal with that very well. He left Japan for a long time, but I still really love it. It's my second book that I've read by him. The first one was Kafka on the Shore, which I'm going to do a video talking about it as well. It's very different to this one, but yeah, I really enjoyed this book. It's only 350 pages, I think, but there's not that many words on the page, so it's a very quick read. I read it in a day and a half, I think. I started it and I really enjoyed it. It deals with a lot of different things, such as suicide, loss, people, 1960s Japan and Tokyo, especially, and what was going on in the universities at the time, and how students felt, because the main character is a student who's moved from the countryside to Tokyo to study. I read this book a while ago, so I can't remember if it was poetry or history that he studied, but it was something he just went to study. It wasn't really something he was like down about. He just thought he wanted to study that. But and it's the story of him still being in love with him meeting this girl that he was close with when he was in high school, and it was him and his best friend and then her, because his best friend and her were in a relationship. But then, of course, pretty early on, it talks about this in the book, so it's not a major spoiler, he kills himself. He commits suicide, so he passes away, and it's basically they form a relationship, and it's probably not a very healthy relationship, to be honest. It's very unhealthy, and stuff happens with her and stuff happens with him, and that's kind of the consequences of them having this relationship. She's like, if you lose someone she lost someone who was her closest friend, and they were in a relationship, and then she attaches herself to the main character who was in between. It was like a three-way. It was like he was the third wheel, and that sort of thing can have a lot of problems. And back in those times, people didn't really talk about mental health and all, so I think it's kind of what the repercussions of bottling all those emotions up inside of yourself can cause, and how different people deal with people passing away and stuff. And then you've got just him meeting these other interesting people while she's going through what she's going through, and how he has to decide what he wants in life and who he wants to spend his life with. So it's really enjoyable, and it gives great insight to someone. I'm 20, so he's around the same age in this novel, and the main character and what he's going through in Japan. So if I was going to rank it, it would probably be number 1 out of the 3 Murakami books that I've read so far. First is Norwegian Wood, then Dance Dance Dance, and then Kafka on the Shore. I would recommend picking this up just to give it a read. It's a really good book, and there's some weird parts, but all of Murakami's books have some weird parts in them, so it's just something you kind of have to either skip or deal with. You can still just read the story. What would I give it out of 5? I would probably give it a 3 out of 5, just because in Japanese literature they leave a lot of their books open-ended and stuff, and unfortunately it's just a wee bit as well. It does leave this book open-ended at the end, and I don't like that really. I kind of like a close-knitted finish, especially just a book that's on its own, not like a part of a trilogy or something. So yeah, definitely I would recommend picking this up just as an entrance into Murakami's work. I kind of wish I had read this maybe before Kafka on the Shore, because I read Kafka on the Shore and it's really, really weird. So yeah, pick this up. I got it on Amazon for £5 or £6. It's not a bad price at all, and I highly recommend. Thanks for watching. Comment below if you've read it and what you thought, and how many Murakami books you've read. I want to know how many, if someone who's read like the whole collection, what their favourite one is. So if you're here and you're seeing that, then thanks for watching the whole way through, and I'll talk to you soon.